to join, you can mute yourself and turn off video. It's up to you. If you have any questions, feel free to just jump in and unmute yourself anytime. Hi, Megan.
Hi.
Again. Long time no see. Okay. Are you guys seeing the PowerPoint or are you seeing this?
The PowerPoint.
Okay.
Yes, I see the PowerPoint.
Perfect, thank you. And there's also a chat option if you ever need to ask a question and don't want to interrupt, but feel free to interrupt. Okay, we'll wait one more minute and then we will get started. All right, we will get started. So hello, my name is Ms. Halpin. I know I met some of you already, but it's nice to see you guys again. And we have a new family, so welcome, welcome. And they will be starting on Monday, so the kids are super excited. So we have our 1A curriculum night. So we are going to go over a couple of things, super quick about me. We're going to go into usually what we would on a normal curriculum night, what we're going to teach this year, what the kids are going to learn, just kind of an overview of the classroom. Usually our curriculum nights are only 20 minutes. This time we have an allotted hour. Just because I'm also going to go over our Teams, Microsoft Teams, and our classroom, and kind of some different things there to point out, and then we'll have time for questions. I don't imagine we'll do the whole hour, but it's also a wait and see. So a little about myself. This is my 4th year teaching at St. Louise. Before this, I did a lot of student teaching and aid work at different schools, including in Federal Way. I worked in a dual language school, in a public schools, and then I did my student teaching in Macau, China. I have a double major in elementary education and early childhood education. So it kind of overlaps in that K through 2 grade. And I've always wanted to be a 1st grade teacher, so I'm very happy where I'm at. I went to school in St. Philomena in Des Moines. So the whole Catholic school thing has always been really familiar to me. So I was great when I was offered the St. Louise 1st grade position 4 years ago. I'm really excited about, I know it's a weird year, but I'm excited. You can see I really like to travel. This was Zion Canyon last summer, or Zion National Park. And then I also have my Cubs because my family's from Chicago. And so I'm a big, huge sports fan, very passionate about it. The kids know. When football season comes around, I always have to break it to them that I'm not actually a Seahawks fan and that 2 people can have different opinions. So it's always a bit of a lesson there. But that's a little bit about me. So we're going to start getting into the curriculum. So a lot of times people ask me kind of what are they going to learn in 1st grade in math, and here are all of our major subjects. So some of them, you know, we might do addition and the number line and then come back to it a couple lessons later. So here are the main categories. We have measurement and time. That usually comes at the very end of the year. and its own standards. So you'll see on the report cards that we're actually not even evaluating them until the end. So a lot of parents ask, when are they going to learn time? But that comes at the end of the year. But a lot of it is the addition and the subtraction and learning strategies, how to help them and find the best thing that works. With math, a lot of parents say, why are they learning 100 different ways to do math? We only knew one. And I agree, it can be a little tricky, but with our curriculum, it's trying to find the best strategy for them. Obviously, kids are all different and they learn very differently. We have visual learners, we have physical learners. And so the curriculum is really meant to have, like, here's 10 different strategies to add. You know, your brain works and really likes this strategy, so go for it. So with our, like our tests, they practice the strategies, but our first grade team really looks at, can they do the math? And they can do it however they want, as long as they can do it. Our math curriculum is advanced. I think it's 1.2, so it's like first grade, a little more advanced. So some of it you'll be like, oh my goodness, what? And that's kind of why. I've never had any issues with students who can't do it because it's too advanced. The kids are amazing, and every year they really show that they can do it and they're very capable. And so that can be a little bit of a hesitation for some families that it's a little bit advanced, but the kids work really well, and it's just a tiny bit of a push to keep them engaged and challenged. So that's math. Again, I'm really open anytime in the year. If you have questions about the curriculum and how it's structured and everything, definitely don't hesitate to ask. But again, these are the core ideas and the concepts that we learn. For reading and math, or reading and writing, I'm sorry, we work a lot on these 5 things. So we work with fluency, making sure they don't read too fast, but that also kind of includes making sure they can read without sounding like a robot or being too slow, and that kind of thing we work a lot on. Almost every week we work on story elements where we talk about what's the setting, who's in the stories, what happened, which is all also a part of kind of comprehension, stopping and asking questions about the story. I've had so many readers who can read really far ahead, like chapter books in first grade, but their comprehension skills aren't where they should be. And so I also, as parents, I really encourage you guys when you are reading with your child to ask questions like, what do you think is going to happen next? Or how do you think the character's feeling? Those kinds of things always help. For phonics, we always have a sound of the week. So our first week next week will be short A. And so we have our spelling words with that sound. We have it in our story of the week, etc. And then we have writing simple and complex sentences. So by the end of the year, they can usually write up to, I'd say, 4 or 5 sentences on topic. We do a lot of modeling, making sure the capitals and the periods, those are our big ones. For religion, we have our standards, our 2 standards on our report card are being able to memorize our prayers and being respectful. So of course, if we're doing prayer, that they're following along, or at least being reverent. So I listed the prayers that they are going to need to know by the end of the year. Again, we wait to the last week of June or the last week of school to test them. If a student is already like, I know all these, I'm good, we can test them early and then they're good for the year. So no pressure, but if the kids want to get it done, we also offer that. We talk a lot about Mass and the different parts. And when we have holidays and traditions, we talk a lot about Lent and Advent. We do a lot of projects with those. We talk about what's a prayer. And if the religion book is very big, it's a hefty book. So sometimes we like to kind of make it more kid friendly, and we read a lot of Bible stories that are turned into children's books so that they can kind of understand it at their level. So that's kind of our overview. I have our service projects. Every year we do a coat drive before Thanksgiving, and that we work with St. Vincent de Paul to collect them and donate. And then in spring, we usually do something like a book drive. I wrote TBD just because of the coronavirus and what's going on. That's kind of going to be a tricky situation on how that's going to run. I know Mr. Fitz already and Mr. Forte already kind of started trying to figure out what we can do, because it is really important to our school to give back. So I'll let you know more, but that's usually what our first grade classroom does, both 1A and 1B. For science and social studies, we have 2 science curriculums that I love. And then we also do another STEM curriculum we just started. They're super engaging. The kids love them. If you were in kindergarten last year, they usually ask for Doug, and that's the mystery science. So we continue to do that in first grade. And they get really excited about it. I love it. It's very engaging for them and very to their level. But our big units, we always do property of light and sound. So there is a drum unit in that. And so I'm sorry, you're going to every year it turns the kids right into drummers, and they do not stop. Feet and hands. It really gets into them. We have a space unit in the middle of the year that's also incorporated into our reading curriculum. At the end of the year, hopefully we will do insects. I have the last 2 years. This last year, though, we had to skip it, unfortunately, because the kids weren't in school. We do a lot of plant and animal structures, habitats, those kinds of projects. For social studies, we have a big communities unit that will start soon. We have My Favorite Christmas Around the World, where usually parents come in and talk about how they do Christmas in their home countries. TBD on that one again. We talk about holidays, and our current curriculum for social studies is Scholastic News, so you will see a lot of that coming home. All right, we're going to keep going. So for classroom management, again, this is definitely when we're in school. Online, we don't really have a system because it's a little hard to keep track and everything. So nothing yet, but usually I'll do table groups. We'll have teams and things like that. I do have a color chart. So I know in kindergarten they had, move your clip up and down. It's kind of similar. It's hidden. The kids, I have it behind my desk, and those kinds of things. They get rewarded for staying green and having good days. I don't love to do individual charts unless it's really needed. I think sometimes it could be detrimental for the students' confidence. So if I do, I usually do it something kind of like it's on my desk, it's not on their desk, so it's not something that is shown to the whole class and those kinds of things. But again, those are only if like worst comes to worst for individual charts or plans. And then usually we do class dojo, which they love, and that's more of a positive thing. They get points for good behaviors. They have a little monster. They get really into it. We may or may not start that online as a community kind of thing to post pictures, but I don't want to overload you guys on different websites and things to check, because I know you guys are also working and have other children and other responsibilities. So that's going to be a TBD on that one. So I don't want to give you too many links and other things to work on. So we will see. For homework, oh, hold on, there's someone entering the meeting. Oh, maybe not. For homework, we have usually during the year, what we have is 20 minutes of reading per day. And so that is something we very much strongly recommend. It helps them so much in first grade. They improve so much just getting that reading in. It's the most important thing. We do have reading time during the day for reading groups. Usually in class, we have 4 groups, and there's always a library group where they either read by themselves, read to an adult, read with a buddy, or listen to a book on tape. So they do get that during the day, but also any extra time makes such a difference in first grade. It can be like 5 minutes in the car or bedtime story, those kinds of things. Our homework during the year is in packet form. It usually includes 2 literacy sheets that they're mostly able to do independently, maybe not at the start of the year, but towards the end, they can usually fly through it. 2 pages of math. It's our math curriculum homework for extra practice, and usually 1 other subject. So it might be a religion prayer they work on, or a social studies worksheet. So those are what they have for a week's worth plus the weekend. And so we try to keep it balanced, but yeah, that's usually. Now, of course, for online learning, it's a little different. So we have the individual work time. So that's usually when we had that today at the end of the day where they have that hour to work just on any time. I wanted just to clarify that during that time, it's not an official meeting. The students don't have to be there. It's kind of on their own. Of course, I will still be at school. So if you're saying, I really need help explaining this math problem to my student, can you hop on? Absolutely, that's what I'm here for. But it's really for finishing assignments. Like today, they worked on the About Me worksheet. And so some of the kids who really like to color and take their time might finish coloring during that homework time. When we start our math curriculum, they'll probably use that time to do a quick check. So I don't know if you guys did this in kindergarten, but they have online is like a lesson quick check. So it's because unfortunately, Mrs. Howell and I can't see every assignment, and we don't expect you to post every lesson on assignments. What it is the kids go in, they answer questions about the lesson. And so, if your kid only got 1 correct, we might reach out and say, hey, just checking in on how they did. Do you mind showing us their assignment? So we'll make sure they're kind of on track. So we don't want the kids to fall behind and not be aware of it, which can unfortunately happen online because I can't see their work or they might be quiet. So the quick checks are going to kind of be a way to make sure everyone's progressing the way they need to. They're going to have extra practice, possibly like we read a Scholastic News in school, and they have to do a worksheet after. When we are finished with the PowerPoint, I'll kind of show you where to find all of this in the Teams. But when you are in Teams, you can upload all the homework as pictures, PDFs, or Word docs. For allergies, we don't have any food allergies this year, which is a blessing. I've never had that ever. So again, we're not in school currently, but when we do come back, we usually have the no sharing rule. That's just kind of our school's policy, but we don't have to put extra concerns on what we bring for treats.
My son has allergies.
Oh, he does. Okay. Then we will do the allergies. We will put it in. And that's usually, that will be in our packet. So again, we do the no sharing. If your student has allergies, they bring a separate treat. I've had students just bring in like a bag of extra treats. So when it's someone's birthday, they come and grab from their bag instead. But we can, of course, figure that out later. School policies. So the absences, usually, again, when you're not going to be there for a day or a morning, you contact me, email me, and the office, because they will not tell me. So I will also need to know. For any planned vacations over 3 days, you will have to fill out a absence form. I believe it's online. You can send it in with your student or the office and to get it approved by Mr. Fitz and I. And usually, I don't know how long it has to be before, but if you know that you're going to be gone, the sooner the better. For online learning, again, let me know if you're going to be missing a day. We have the option of recording our lessons. So if you are going to be out and you don't want to miss something, I can just record it and you can watch it later. The attendance will be still taken. So if you are late, it's tardy. If you miss a couple lessons, it's a or periods, it's a half day absence. And again, I am very flexible. Like, I understand with technology, if you can't get it to work and you're trying, I'm not going to count that as an absence because, technology can be tricky, and I'm not holding that against the student or you guys. So again, we'll take it day by day. But we do expect the students to be there at 9, 10 in the morning and when all the periods begin at the right time. So office hours are now available. I know we have virtual office hours for sure. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday built in. The purpose is kind of just asking questions, saying, today this happened and I don't know how to upload this assignment. What were we supposed to do here? Answering questions. We can conference about students' work or have, even mini conferences. Technology help. So we're also going to have schedule, if online learning continues, we're going to still do scheduled one-on-one meetings with the students throughout the year, just a quick check-in on Fridays. So it's just the child and I talking. They're not anything formal. It's just like, hey, how you doing? Because sometimes the students don't want to talk when everyone else is on. And so we can talk that way. If you want to schedule a time, feel free to email me. You can also message me on Microsoft Teams. Make sure you're not doing it for the whole class, because on our page, if you just go to chat, it'll send to everyone. You will just have to create a new chat and just add me. I check this all the time. I check my email all the time. So it won't be more than 24 hours for a response. If you are having it on Tuesday and you didn't set up a time, but you need to ask a quick question, just send me an email or a message before we start the meeting to make sure I'm not in another meeting. But don't worry about having a scheduled time planned. I'm there till 3:30. So use this time as needed. Again, if you are good and you just want to take a breather and relax and you don't want to talk, that is fine. It's not something that you have to attend. Ways to contact me, again, the message on Microsoft Teams, the email. My phone number for school is below. Again, I still believe that they're turned off during our teaching day. So if you do call during school hours, it'll go straight to voicemail. But you can call before or after or leave a message that way. But again, I think I've been here for 4 years and not once has anyone called. So email and individual message is perfect for me as well. So I'm going to show, let's see. We're going to go back and I'm going to show you kind of our team. So I'm going to share. So we're going to just kind of go over the outline of our 1A team. So this is my view. So this is kind of what I see. You have something similar. All teams are kind of set out that way. So our class is the 1A Miss Helfin. And it looks like this. And I can see who is online and those things. Our post here, again, this is how we can have conversations. But if you want a chat just to me, you go up, right-click chat and new chat, and then you will see me. So for files, this is where we're going to keep a lot of the information. here's our 1A classroom schedule. So if you need to, you can print that at home, access it anytime. That has our periods and all our specialist classes. So if you go to classroom materials, you'll see daily work PowerPoints, curriculum night, and class information. Here you'll have the slideshow, the PowerPoint that I just showed you is here, so you can access that. Class expectations is what I sent home. It just kind of has the pictures of being on time and those things. Our curriculum night packet is kind of more in detail about how our class is run, has carpool information, absences, allergies, field trips, those kinds of things. Again, this is more for when we return back to school and how it is in our normal classroom. Our online learning isn't always included in that information. And then, let's see. If we continue, we can go back to classroom materials. Our daily work PowerPoints are what this 1A classroom or daily assignments is. So I have to upload it as a file. So tomorrow is 9/1, so I would pin this. And let's see, make this a tab. So tomorrow you will see this, the kids, because it's Friday, so we're happy. So I have it. So if you want to click through this, you have to put it in present mode. I don't believe it works otherwise on your end, but here is our classroom. So we have our math, reading, language arts, science, social studies, and religion. You can also click these icons to take you there. But it's just kind of our daily assignments, what we're doing, and homework. So if you click math, we're not doing math tomorrow, but it will say we did this today, we did this today, we did these problems. If we go, let's see, to language arts, it will have your spelling list. Our Class Dojo isn't linked yet. And then if you go home and click the homework button, it'll take you to our daily homework. So it'll say, you know, read 20 minutes and log it. And then on this right side is what you have to upload to Microsoft Teams for the day. Usually it's only going to be 1 or 2 things. So tomorrow you're going to be asked to post your Pout Pout Fish worksheet to Microsoft Teams. So to do that, you go to assignments. That is going to be up here in our classroom. And then you're also going to choose 1A, choose the assignment for the day. It'll tell you when it's due. And then that way you have to, what we're going to do is have you take pictures of the work, which is easiest on your phone. So I really recommend downloading the Microsoft Teams app on your phone. So then you can just upload it straight from there, take a picture, go to assignments, choose whatever picture it is. So it was our first day picture. You add it, I can see who's turned it in, and then I return it back once it's graded. So that's just kind of the assignment. So it's in this tab. Again, if you're here in our classroom looking at the things to do, this is especially if you missed a day and you want to go back and say, well, I'm going to sit down with my student and make up the work. This is where you can find everything we did in the day and homework. It's going to be posted in our files. So if we go back to classroom materials, daily work PowerPoints, we're going to have previous daily work. So if I move 9/9 back into here, you can look and see what did they do on that day I missed. So it'll have this week's available. And then if it's before the current week, you can find it in previous daily work. We have a grades tab. We have a classroom notebook tab. We're not going to be using the classroom notebook. Older grades are going to be using it because you have to type in it. And again, I don't know if the Mrs. McIntosh in computers is going to be using that. But in our classroom, we're not, because we're still focusing on handwriting and holding a pencil. So we are not going to be using the classroom notebook. A post, just this will have, you'll see the different assignments I added, the different meetings that we had. You can see here that I've labeled it period 4, period 5. If you go to your calendar on this side, you will see the different meetings to join. I always have trouble with getting notifications for when a meeting starts. So if you're ever lost and don't know where to find the meeting, if you go to calendar, you're all invited. You just click it, and if it's happening, you press join. So next week, your student's calendar will look like this. Oh, we're gonna go up. Will look like this. So you will see we have prayer, pledge, and math. We'll have 2 reading groups, language arts, PE, and then you have the different music, library, computers, and art. And so, you know, if it's 9 a.m. and you want to go to here, you click it, and then you'll press join at the top for when it is actually time. And so this is usually what your schedule will look like. Again, there's this gap here because of virtual office hours and because Monday we end early. So the students only have 3 periods with me on Monday morning. So it kind of looks sparse. But you may also have, you can also plan for your office hours here, my office hours, and joining those meetings. It's really up to you how you do homework time and office hour time. You guys know it's definitely your choice. Going back to our classroom, and again, you can also find assignments on this tab. You would just have to click the correct class you're in, and then you can see our assignments that way. So if I go,
I noticed you have like 2 things for reading for the
yes.
like that.
So, great question. So we have 2 reading groups. Group A and B, your students are a part of both, because to have meetings, they have to be public, and to be public, you can't choose who's in them. So our class, like I said before, has reading groups. We have 4 groups. We're going to have 2 groups. So we'll have group A and B. We're not going to start this till next Tuesday, so we'll talk about it Monday. And I'll just say, you know, Haley, you're in group A, so she'll just go to calendar and join the A meeting. So we have Mrs. Kirby, who is our reading helper during that time. So they'll have 15 minutes with her and 15 minutes with me. They won't need to change meetings. Mrs. Kirby and I are just physically going to move to different computers. So you're just going to join A or just B. And if worst comes to worst and your student joins the wrong one, they'll just have 1 extra student for that day. But I will tell you the teams then. And so Mrs. Kirby will be doing grammar with them. It's the reader's notebook. And then I will be kind of doing the different skills and things. On Mondays, I'm actually going to combine this to 1 group because we're going to do phonics and reading lessons. So they're only going to have groups, I believe, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and possibly Friday. So that will change tomorrow. Back to our teams. We're getting towards the end.
All online. So the day begins at 9:10, and it looks like, what, does it finish at 2?
Yes. So technically, your day finishes at 1:30.
Okay.
But they have that built in 1:30 to 2:30 on these days is homework time. But again, it's not a scheduled meeting. So if your kids want 2 hours of break and then do homework later in the night, that's fine. So it's just kind of, we just built in an extra time of what our day would have been just to work on other assignments and things they need to finish. But again, my lessons end at 1:30. So there's no scheduled meetings after that. And I believe there's this, PE. And then I think, then they have lunch. and then office hours. So on Monday, their day ends for meetings at 12:15, so a little bit earlier that day. But again, we start at 9:10 every day. I also wanted to mention, it says language arts, social studies, science, and religion. Because we're first grade, it's kind of, and because we're online, we definitely have to change things up sometimes. So we may be teaching social studies during the religion block, and vice versa. Or we might be finishing a math lesson during social studies time. You can see reading groups and math up here are the same every day. So those are the two we have every single day, same time. We always have reading, we always have math. So these other ones, language arts, social studies, and science, we will always have a meeting at that time, but the subject matter might change. So it might just kind of be different. So if you walk in and your student is doing a science spin during religion, that's probably why. But we'll always have reading and math at the same time every day. So that's a little bit about that. For, again, not class notebooks, files are where you can find everything. And then our daily assignments, it'll have the date in the daily assignments. It says when in classroom, but it'll say daily assignments after that. Does anyone have any questions? I know that was a little bit of overload, but it's just kind of a brief overview. If you have a question that pops in your head at midnight tonight, feel free to ask it.
I have a question.
Yes, of course.
So when you mentioned the quick checks,
Yes.
so you will reach out to us, or the kids will need to say, please, like, I didn't get it, sorry.
Yeah, so on our daily assignments, they can go to math, and our math will have a link here to take you to our online math, and that's where they will have to take it. We can't, as teachers, I would love to send them there, but unfortunately, because everyone has to do their own and have their own separate account, that's something that parents are going to have to bring up for them. We can assign.
Then you will let us know, like, please take the quick check, or
yes.
How would you know that we need to do it? Well,
So,
that they need to do it.
Yeah, so on my end, I have the list of students and I will assign it to them. So it'll say, so you don't really have to go and try to find it anywhere. You'll log in. It's a student-friendly view. So it'll see something, I believe, like my assignments or to do. The kids will press it, and then the kids can read the questions on their own. There's a button they can press to just listen to it, and the options, so parents don't actually have to read it to them. And then they press submit, and then it's done. It shouldn't take any more than like 10 minutes to do, but it will be assigned to them. So I can see who's finished, I can see who's looked at it, and those kinds of things, and then their results. So it's usually, I can show you an example. Let me try to bring it up. We changed curriculums this time, so it's not Pearson Envision, it's Pearson's Sabbath now. That's just a change.
It's
from
fine. My question was more like, how do I know that he needs to take the, like?
Oh yeah, so it'll show you if he hasn't done it. It kind of shows up like an assignment or like homework that way.
Okay. And then, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, go for it.
No, I just have more questions.
Okay. Okay, let me see if I can bring this up. Hold on. This is what ours looks like on this end. Oh, it's different this year. It updated. Someone bought the program, so some things are a little bit different. If you used it in kindergarten online at the end of the year. The students I know should be familiar with the videos from kindergarten. Oh, no, this is not what it's going to be. All right, I will try to find that later.
Okay.
What's your other question?
when they read, they need to log in the time they read or the book, but where?
I have not set that up, so currently
Okay.
they're not logging it at the moment.
Okay.
We're gonna kind of wait and see, I think, how long, or the plan is for how long online learning is going to be. If it's going to be till like we stop in October, then we won't even bother setting up something for that. If this is a long-term thing, then we will have that, definitely.
And two more things. So the homework, I think I lost that part when you said now during online learning is a little bit different. So so we don't have that.
So so if you remember, like Mati had the packet of homework, we're not doing that for online learning.
Okay.
So he read 20 minutes a day. We'll still have that, but there's not going to be a physical homework packet.
Okay.
Or different homework things like we had in the past. It's usually just going to be finishing assignments, practicing spelling words, those kinds of things, but it's not going to be a physical copy or anything like that. But again, you can find that kind of over here. We probably will have an assignment to post every day just to keep track of the students' work. So that's technically will be the homework. But that's just taking a picture of something. Like tomorrow, they're going to be working on the Pout Pout fish with me. They might finish it that day. So their homework is or just to post it. So they might not actually have to do anything. It won't be anything that they can't finish in that 1 hour of homework time. We don't want to overwhelm you. I know you guys have work and things to do. So I don't want you guys to have to help them all day and then you have your things and then they also have homework. So we're trying to keep it at a minimum for sure. But again, if we'll have opportunities, because I know parents sometimes they really want their kids to have that extra work. They want them to have the extra assignment. So we will have things that are, if you want to continue and do the back page or those kind of challenge yourself activities. But again, they will always be optional. Nothing you have to do or will get graded for.
Okay. And then my last question is just, we have one new family or two?
Yes, we do.
So welcome.
Yes, welcome. We have Senna is going to start. Am I saying his name correctly?
It's Senna. Senna, you want to come?
Nice. Our friend Senna is going to start on Monday, I believe. I told the students today and they were very excited. So
nice. Another boy. Good.
Yes, that's what I said. I was like, we're going to have 4 now.
4 boys and 6 girls?
5 girls.
5 girls. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, we're excited to have you. It's going to be fun. This class is they're so nice. And, I'll stop sharing so I can say hi. Hi. This class is so, I love them already. They're so sweet and they're so excited just to learn. So it's already been a good year and it's only been 2 days. But do you guys have any other questions?
The students, how should they call you? Miss Samantha?
Miss Halpin. Yeah, Miss Halpin. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm excited. I think, again, we have so many different types questions, anything that come up. They don't have to come up now. Just don't hesitate to ask. We're all in this together. It's a weird time for sure, but we all are a team and it's just going to be, we'll figure it out as we go kind of thing. So don't hesitate to ask. I'm here to help. Yeah. Do you have a question? Oh, I can't hear you. I think you might be on mute. Oh, no, you're not. I can't hear you. I can read your lips asking, but I can't hear you. You might want to try the chat maybe if you want to ask your question that way. It's up on the top. It says conversation. I don't know if you can see it next to the hand raise. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, you are free to go. I'm sure you have another session to attend today, but try to stay out of the heat. Hopefully you stay cool. But feel free to leave if you want. But it was nice meeting you all and seeing you all. I'm excited for this year. It's gonna be a good year. Bye, bye,
Thank
Sana.
you.
Nice meeting.
Bye.
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 Bye, Sylvia.
Bye.
You're welcome. All right. Do you see the chat? Oops. I'm gonna stop recording.